trying to get it, I don't know, recombobulated.
Fantastic.
Ganache and Sir John here. Pina Comics, it must be Sunday night at 6:30 p.m.
Oh, really? I thought it was the International Music Hour.
Oh, no, you were just covering...
Radio Hour.
Well, you were covering the Broadway Radio Hour, which was supposed to be covered by the International Music Hour, which
like
ended
that.
up becoming the Pina Comics Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon Hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was easy. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We got a message here. I still have not seen that movie. I've got to check it out. If you listen to Pina Comics, if you've ever checked out our podcast, it is a podcast, by the way, as well. Not just this wonderful radio show. You can check us out weekly with a little bit more adult language at times. And by a little bit, I mean a lot sometimes.
We don't have a disclaimer.
No, yeah, we got a disclaimer because stuff happens there. You're listening to WESU Middletown, WESUFM.org. If you are on your regular terrestrial radio, you got that dial cranked to the left because that's where you'll find us, all the way to the left. Before we get started with this week's show, we're waiting for our guest to call in. I think I got to mention a little bit of a pledge drive, okay? So Happy New Year to everybody out there again. We're getting there, more than 80% of our goal, all right? Less than $5,000 left to go. So if you go to WESUFM.org/pledge, or just go there and you'll see a little button for pledge. Click right on it, and remember, this is community volunteer radio. Nobody here is getting paid, but we have equipment that we have to have kept up. We have microphone stands that are loose at all times.
Loose?
Yeah, it's loose.
Loose.
Yeah. I hate when the microphone, when it just won't stay.
Droops?
When it won't stay on my, right on my mouth.
When it's not erect?
This is not the podcast, my friend.
It's a proper word.
Yeah, it is. Erect is a word.
See, I mean, look, I'm dragging here.
It is a word, yeah.
Oh, good old Pina Comics. He's calling shortly. I gave him the wrong number.
Oh, well, good job on your part.
Yes, that was my fault.
Remember how I said nobody gets paid here? I can't fire you for that.
I can't. It's what happens when you're running around doing a million things and that at the same time.
I get it.
You know?
Who's our guest this week?
David Calcano of Fantunes.
Fantunes.tv. Here it is, the bat signal. We're going to get our guest on in 1 second. If you have time, before he gets on, if you're on a tablet and or a computer, type in fantunes.tv, and you can check out ahead of time the really cool stuff that these guys do, animation company. And if you're a fan of Rush and you know what unfortunately happened this week with Neil Peart passing away, you're going to see a whole lot of Rush content from these guys.
Good evening, David.
Hi. Thank you guys for inviting me to the show. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. I totally screwed up the phone number. I can't believe I did that.
No worries. No worries. We got it on time, so...
Yeah.
Did you get a pizza house or something like that?
It's actually, it just said that there's that, the doo-doo-doo, you know, that thing where the number doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's not a funny story, unfortunately.
That's when women meet John at the bars. That's the number he gives them when he wants to ghost. When he wants to ghost women, he gives them that fake number. You know, when they call him the next day.
Exactly.
He accidentally gave it to you. I'm gonna have to write him up for this.
But I want the sub.
Seinfeld reference.
Always. David, we haven't really spoken all that much. We've just did a little bit of back and forth through the emails. I became aware of Fantunes through the absolutely amazing coloring book series that you've got, and the Frank Zappa one in particular. That thing is so amazing.
Thank you so much.
It's an incredible publication. I got let me just go down the list of how I discovered it. So obviously we're comic book guys. It was solicited in the Lone comic book catalog previews.
Say it. Yeah, there you go.
for distribution here on the North American continent. And I see this thing, and I'm not entirely sure where I saw it in the catalog because I do everything online now. But I see it, and I see the Frank Zappa coloring book, and I had to do a double take on my phone as I what Frank Zappa coloring book. So I go in and I read about it. And I'm like, I cannot not order this. I have to have this. It's just one of those things I had to have. I had to see what it was. I get the thing. I don't. Have I shown it to you yet?
I think you showed me a picture of it, David. Just so you know, your product has affected John because he's been talking about it for 2 months straight. About 2 months straight,
Well,
I'm cool with that. But 2 months straight, the Frank Zappa coloring book has taken over our world.
Because it's just something out of this world. It's something I never expected to see, for one, much less see written out. The Frank Zappa coloring book, you know. But the thing shows up. It's a beautiful publication. It's this giant square bound thing. It's got this heavy cardstock cover with an amazing cover, which you've seen. I did show you that. And the interior pieces are just amazing pieces of artwork. You could just tear them out of the book and frame them. They're print worthy. That's what I think of them.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. That means the world. That's why we do what we do. You know.
And
Thank
even better for you, David. I shortly after it came out, I was at a comic book store in the next day. It was in Massachusetts, and I was there for a signing. And as I'm walking around the store, I see it on the rack at this store. And I said to the guy, like, "Have you looked at this thing yet?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we've sold quite a few of those." And that's what I like to hear.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's exactly. Yes, we love Frank, you know, and we want to celebrate his legacy with all these crazy little pieces of art that we put into the book, and hopefully we could do more books with Ahmet going forwards. And but yeah, it makes me incredibly happy and proud, and I will certainly tell everybody at the studio, because this is obviously the work of several people on the book. It's not a one guy thing. And everybody loves Frank, you know. So his sense of humor, his music. I mean, it was a trip to work on that book for everybody, you know, because he was one of those composers that could go anywhere and still sound like him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Frank Zappa is one of those artists that. Not saying that I can't listen to more now at my age, but I've always respected him. I've always liked a lot of his stuff, but I never fully got into him. And it's kind of one of those weird regrets you get later in life. It's like, man, I wish I listened to more Zappa when I was younger, because I had, I always remember, I hung out with a lot of, I'm not a musician, but I hung out with a lot of musicians in high school, and all of my musician friends, especially the ones that were very serious about it, loved Frank Zappa.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was an incredible, accomplished musician and composer, you know. So every musician, there's always something around Frank that they love, including Neil Peart. He loved Frank Zappa.
Yeah, let's get into that real quick in 1 second before we start talking about Neil Peart and his unfortunate passing and Rush's legacy.
Yeah.
What is it that you guys do over at Fantunes? What is besides just because it's not just coloring books, it's overreaching. So I want everybody out there to go to the website, check it out as we're talking. But I want you to give us the rundown.
Yes, we are an animation studio and a book publisher. You know, we create art, animation, and books about the world's greatest musicians. We work with the Zappa estate. We are honored to work with Rush. We work with Motorhead as well, which we did a book with them, and we're doing another one this year. We're about, hopefully, to work with other bands that I cannot talk about, and I almost said it.
Oh, we only have 4 listeners. We only have 4 listeners, so you would be okay.
Well, actually, I can say we just signed a deal with Johnny Ramone's estate, with Linda Ramone, and we're going to do a children's book called Count 1, 2, 3, 4 with Johnny Ramone.
Wow.
So that's what we do, you know, in terms of books. We do either coloring books or children books and graphic novels. We just did The Making of a Farewell to Kings from Rush, one of their seminal records from the 70s, where Closer to the Heart is in. And we told the story about how the record was made. And it's a 144-page book. It's hardbound. it's one of our proudest moments as a studio, because both Geddy Alex and Neil all love the book, and
Wow.
you know, we are aiming to do that with a lot of their subsequent records as well. So hopefully start having a collection. They're all 12 by 12, so they're vinyl shaped.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. The idea is, well, to kind of have a little companion when you're listening to the records and see stories that otherwise are scattered around everywhere. So we kind of go back to kind of tell how the record was made in one storyline. You see a lot of great anecdotes that haven't been published before, including some that only the diehards know and stuff like that. So we're aiming to do a lot more graphic novels about making of records, the making of records, which is something that's never been done before. But thank God the Farewell to Kings graphic novel has been selling pretty well, and yeah, we're gonna do more. So yeah.
And that's available now through your basic.
Yes, it's available everywhere.
Okay.
It's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Our books are distributed by Simon and Schuster.
Oh.
So
okay.
we got distribution last year. We did I'll be very quick with this, but we've been exhibiting at Comic-Con for many years, obviously, self-publishing and doing everything independently. And on 2018, Simon & Schuster saw our booth at San Diego Comic-Con. They loved what we were doing, and we signed a distribution deal with them. So now our books are in Barnes & Noble and Amazon and all these places that otherwise before people were not able to find them, which is incredible for us, you know.
That's awesome.
I mean, we do these crazy, weird books like the Zappa coloring book, and now people can find them, which is great, you know.
Hey, that's how I discovered you. I mean, this crazy coloring book, and I go to the website and like, whoa, look at this.
Yeah, I was going through the website to refresh myself before the show, and I had missed prior. You said you had done a Motorhead themed
Yes,
book, and the what is it? It's called Where's Lemmy, and it's basically Where's Waldo.
Yes, exactly.
That is incredible.
So it's an R-rated, certain funny book, and everybody's having a blast with it. You know, we created pieces of art inspired by the album covers, and then you get to find references of every record inside all the craziness and of the art to find Lemmy, and you have an index page where you see how Lemmy changed over the years. So you see the different types of Lemmys across all. Yeah, we did the same with Rush, by the way. We did a Where's Geddy Alex and Neil book that fans truly loved, because again, I mean, the guys have changed over the years from the kimono era to the weird haircuts of the 80s and stuff. So you would see the different changes based on each album cover that we did the search and find. So and it's something we want to continue doing. We want to do a Where's Frank Zappa as well.
Oh boy, I can only imagine that Frank, if he was alive, would love every second of all this.
Yeah,
it just seems
that's what his son told us.
Yeah.
So it's what you aspire. You know, we do all of this stuff because of our love of the music, and it's a lot of work. But every time there's somebody who either doesn't know who Frank is and then grabs the coloring book and says, "What is this?" and then you explain, and then people love the art and they buy the book and then they listen to the music. That's what we're about. You know, we want this music to live forever. And if you don't put content out, you know, things just disappear from the map. People stop caring, and we got a little boy in Comic-Con a couple of years ago, and we did a flip book of Rush, a 2112 flip book, and he loved it. He bought the thing, and he came back a couple of years later, and then he bought vinyl from Rush because he got to know them because he bought a little flip book that we did.
Wow.
And you know, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's again these little quirky, nerdy kind of things that we do that a lot of the new generations really like, and that otherwise you would only see with kind of pop culture type things like Star Wars and stuff like that. But I think these guys and this music deserves that kind of treatment as well, and that kind of tribute and books and animation and everything. You know, I want these guys to live forever, man.
That's one way of doing it.
Yeah, it certainly is one way of doing it, especially, you know, in a point where we just lost one of the guys.
Yes.
You know, and obviously,
Yes.
one of the things I wanted to talk about real quick, and it's kind of strange that the week you're on the show, you're Rush adjacent at the very least, is one of the things that, like, I think a lot of people don't realize about Neil Peart, because, you know, I think everybody out there that's even kind of a little, like, slightly more than casual music fan can kind of identify him as maybe if not the greatest drummer of all time in rock. He's in the conversation at the very least, but I don't think a lot of people realize the fact that he was the lyricist for Rush as well.
Yes, exactly.
You know, I think everybody thinks Geddy Lee or Alex Lifeson is, but this is the guy, and he wasn't even an original member.
Right.
Yes, he came in on the second album, and but I think Rush, I mean, they found their sound. I love the first album, and this is obviously my personal opinion, and I love the first album. It's a straight rock kind of album, but when you start listening to a song like Anthem in Fly By Night in the second record, they just became this crazy, different progressive metal kind of thing that they just found their own sound, you know, when Neil came into the band. It just changed so much. And he brought so much to the identity of Rush, you know, and they say it themselves. So with that style of drumming, I mean, the lyrics, I mean, the lyrics are all from the 70s, all the wizards and all the sci-fi elements into it. And then in the 80s, a lot of lyrics that I personally really enjoy, things like Subdivisions, you know, that spoke to me so deeply when I was a teenager. That are very universal. You know, people don't realize, some people just kind of think about Rush and they think about all the wizards and all the fantasy lyrics and the sci-fi stuff. But Neil wrote so many lyrics that resonate to anybody. It doesn't matter if you like sci-fi or not. I mean, he has lyrics, particularly from the 80s and onwards, that are just incredible. I mean, there's a song called The Garden from Clockwork Angels. It's probably one of the greatest lyrics ever written, in my opinion. It's just gorgeously beautiful, you know?
Now,
I think that was an answer on one of the Jeopardy shows of this past week.
Really?
The Clockwork Angel.
Really?
I think so.
So now, in the fact that you guys have, and Rush has kind of been disbanded for the last few years, because Neil had kind of left, and this is like the rare case of a band that doesn't move on without one of the three guys, you know?
Correct.
But because of your dealings with, in terms of like the books and everything, did you personally know all the guys, or have you met them?
I met Geddy, and incredible guy, incredibly nice, and I've exchanged emails with Alex, answering questions for the graphic novel, and but I never met Neil. I only got information, feedback actually to what we do through management. But he was amazing with us. He always was incredibly complimentary and an incredible gentleman. I wish I could have just say thanks to the guy. You know, he gave me so much, and he gave us all so much with all the wonderful art that he created throughout his career. I just didn't know what he was going through, because it was extremely a guarded secret. Which he was a very private guy, and
he had suffered a lot of tragedy in his later years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and I mean, exactly. And I never even asked for that, you know, because everybody has their wishes, and I try to be respectful, and that's I think that's one of the reasons why I've been working with them for so many years. I respect their wishes and what they want to do, and if they want to do something great, if they don't, that's okay too. You know, they've been working their butts off for so many years, creating all that wonderful music that I'm just trying to add a little bit and hopefully share that to as many people as I possibly could. So, yeah.
All right, I'm prepared to get blown away by the answer to this because I just have a feeling. How many times have you seen them in concert?
Oh, I mean, I didn't see them that much, actually. I only saw them 8 times.
Only 8 times. Only. I saw them once myself, and I wish I'd seen them more. But from your reverence, I was waiting for you to say, like 700.
No, yeah. I mean, I love the guys extremely, and but at heart, I am a music fan, so I never got into a bus and then chased them on a tour or anything like that. I mean, there are fans that truly, I mean, they live and breathe Rush every single day, and it's great to talk to them, And like I said, I love them, but I love other stuff as well. I'm a huge fan of the Beach Boys and Brian Wilson, and I love many different kinds of music, and Billie Holiday, and it's a true joy for me. I've been spending money in records for decades, and I don't have any more space where to put them anymore, and I keep making my wife angry about it. So,
well, just keep tuning into WESU. You're gonna find we have a lot of eclectic music here.
Yeah.
Just find us on that TuneIn app.
Yeah, tune in.
Okay, I will for sure.
WESUFM.org. Good little plug there.
Hey, I had to.
And I saw on your website another person that you guys have worked with is I call him Mr. Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What have you done with Steve Martin?
We did a video for a song he called Santa Fe. We did an animated video for him. And we made the guy laugh, but I almost retired after that. He was amazing with us as well. I'll be very grateful, and that was a great experience. And something we haven't updated in the website is we did the video for Jingle Bells, the Frank Sinatra version.
Okay.
We did it last year, and we also did the video for Let It Snow by Dean Martin, and.
Oh, really?
Man, that was a dream come true for me. I love Frank Sinatra. I mean, it was just incredible. The estate was very nice. Universal Music was very nice with us, too. And we did a very classic, traditional animation video for the song. And it did really well. It did almost, I think, 3 million views in 1 month.
Wow.
So we're very proud of that.
I'm very interested in the fact that you guys you're not just doing this for your own interest. You're actually working with the estates of these companies, these people,
yes.
and the companies that are involved with the music. This is above board stuff, which I think a lot of people are not expecting. The fact that you're actually fully invested with all the people that are involved and getting those that are still around involved as well. It's great to hear that kind of thing. I mean, it really
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, we love it. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough, but
I can imagine.
It's tough in general just to make it work. I mean, we all know that music is not necessarily the greatest business to be in. But I just love everything we do. I cannot live without a single day working with anything related to music. We did the graphics for a Brian Wilson documentary that is just finished, and it's gonna happen next year. It's gonna be screened next year, and I had the opportunity to meet the guy and see him recording, and it was just incredible. It was phenomenal.
You're like one of the 26 people on Earth that loves their job, and that's awesome. Like talking to you is it's kind of making me mad because you truly seem to, and it's awesome. You truly seem to be able to. Your passion is intertwined with what you get to do.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. Well, like I said, it is tough to make it work financially. I'm not gonna lie. It's just you gotta. Oh man, you gotta do so much to make it work. But I will do it anytime. I don't have weekends or anything like that. And to be honest, I don't care. My wife works with me, and she totally gets it, and she totally loves what we do as well. Except for the space thing with the records, but others, yeah. I mean, I do love working with talented artists who surprise you with a piece that that really communicates what a piece of music is about, or what an anecdote from an artist is about. We are working on a graphic novel about Billie Holiday, the jazz singer.
Really?
She has, yeah. We are. I'm so excited about this, man, because we are doing a series called "The Women in Jazz."
Okay.
And we are trying to tell their stories. There's all these women. They went through hell. They had all the social injustices going on. There were no jobs. They started in really deep poverty, and they really conquered the world with their music.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Every single one of them, from Ella Fitzgerald to Billie Holiday, Nina Simone, Dinah Washington, all of those women, they have this amazing music and the amazing stories, and nobody gives a crap about it.
Yeah.
It's
well, the musicians do and the fans do, but overall, the story that they had in their past, yeah, it's not been covered well.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so much great things happening with women these days, but you do want people who truly are role models like these ladies. It's not to say they didn't make mistakes, but honestly, if you look at their stories for what they had and what they accomplished, it's just incredible. People complain now. I mean, look at, at 80, 90, or 100 years ago, what it was. It was tough.
Yeah, think about it. At this point, it is 100 years ago for some of these women.
Yeah, exactly. So it's anyway. That makes me really happy, and I'm hoping that by doing these graphic novels and things like that, people can get to know them and hopefully get excited about the music and their stories and start to share a little bit more about them.
All right, David, we're going to go on a quick break. We're gonna put a couple public service announcements out there. Before we do, give everybody listening out there your website, where they can start looking at stuff in the next 2 minutes, so that when we come back on the next side, they can be caught up when we're talking.
Sure, they can. We're called Fantunes. That's FANTOONS, and we're at Twitter at Fantunes and Instagram at Fantunes, and our website is fantunes.shop.
All right, check that out. We're here with David from Fantunes, Piney Comics, Middletown, WESU. We will be right back.
Got the munchies for good music? Tune into the Psychedelicatessen, hosted by me, Psychedelic Rick, every Sunday at 9 p.m. Join me for a musical trip through the vaults of New York, San Francisco, London, Tokyo, and beyond. FM radio the way it used to be, every Sunday night at 9 o'clock following Dead Air on WESU Middletown.
Wash your hands often to reduce the spread of germs and disease. To wash your hands properly, wet them, apply a quarter-sized amount of liquid soap, and rub them together for about the time it takes to sing the Happy Birthday song twice. Wash the front and back, in between your fingers, and under your nails. Dry them with a paper towel if possible, and then use the paper towel to turn off the faucet and open the door. If soap and water aren't available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. A message from the CDC.
Tune in, turn on, and space out to The Cosmic Eye with your host, Commander Alion, every Sunday at 11:30 a.m., bringing you messages from outer space as well as ambient space music, Earth change reports, spaceship news, and more. That's every Sunday at 11:30 a.m., right here at 88.1 WESU Middletown, non-commercial community radio, or on the internet at www.wesufm.org.
Sparky the Fire Dog here. Make sure your family has a fire escape plan, and they practice it twice a year. One important thing to practice is get low and go. If you see or smell smoke, it's important to get low and go. Protect your family from fire. For more information, visit sparky.org.
We want to keep you, your family, and your community safer from fire. This message brought to you by the National Fire Protection Association and your local fire department. Visit sparky.org.
All right, WESU, we are back. Pint of Comics, WESU Middletown. And we're going to play under the second half of our talk with David from Fantune. We're going to play a little bit of Zappa underneath to give him a little bit of a comforting feeling. Can you hear that?
Very nice, man.
All right, we're gonna put that on the low end. That's also for our buddy G.I. Gary, who's a huge Zappa fan. As soon as I said I didn't get into Zappa, Gary messaged me and said, I can burn you about 50 Zappa CDs right now.
Too late, because we have them all here.
We have them, I know we do have them here, but I want them for home.
Our own Psychedelic Rick for the Psychedelicatessen brought in all these Zappa albums to help out when he's covering the winter break for the kids here at the Wesleyan University.
Give them a little something good to play.
So, like this particular song, Billy the Mountain, is a 24-minute song.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So it's perfect to go through the next half. Now, David, I got to ask you, and remember, this is a family show, so I'm gonna dance around this, and we're gonna use all the correct wording. But what is Ninja Sex Party?
Right. So Ninja Sex Party, they are one of the greatest comedy duos out there right now, and they have an incredible story. They've been going on for 10 years. It's basically the combination of Dan Avidan and Brian Wecht, and they basically tell jokes through music, but they also connect with nerds in a way that I've seen very few people do. You know, they have a song called "Danny, Don't You Know," that talks about how Dan grew up and everything. That in the video, one of the kids from Stranger Things is actually he plays Dan when he was a young boy, and it's an incredible song, man. And he connected with so many people, and they became really big after that song. But they are YouTube stars. So a lot of people on mainstream don't necessarily know them, but they have 1.2 million subscribers on YouTube only. And they just did an arena show in Chicago with 8,000 people. So, that's not something that everybody can do. And these guys, on their own, have carved a following that is so loyal and so wonderful to them. We've been incredibly fortunate to work with them and get to know their fans. When we did a coloring book about them, and obviously they have stuff that is a little R-rated, as you can imagine. But like I said, I mean, not everything is like that. I mean, they truly have this wonderful connection with being a nerd and how cool that has became, over the years. And they have a following that truly loves them, man. And when I interacted with them at Comic-Con last year, it was amazing. All these young kids so excited to see the band and talk about them, and they truly love the guys. And they both work so hard, They work really, really hard they just did a tour in Europe that was completely sold out, from Sweden to UK to everywhere. So they are sort of the new Tenacious D, basically.
There you go.
All right, so you guys did a coloring book and you also did the video, or?
Yeah, no, we just did a coloring book, and we are doing a graphic novel with their story.
Okay.
So their official story, or their story as they want to tell it?
No, their official story. Oh. So it's gonna be a two-part novel that is gonna tell the story how they grew up and how they met each other, and then the second part is gonna be the 10 years with Ninja Sex Party.
I think we're moving into a period in time where in 50 to 70 years, traditional entertainment where someone becomes an actor and works for a studio and, well, not the studio system, but goes out and makes movies. I think it's going to be all these people. I think it's going to be all like YouTube's,
I agree.
The person that just replaced, I can't remember her name, the person who just replaced, I think, Carson Daly on that really late show was a YouTube star.
I didn't know that was
Lily Singh, I think. Whatever, 18 million followers, and just some young lady that started a YouTube channel 5 years ago, and now she's hosting a show on NBC.
Sure.
Yeah. It's really incredible. There's really an alternative group of, large, super large group of people that the only thing they watch is YouTube, and by working with Ninja Sex Party, I guess I started to check a lot more stuff out, and I'm now watching a show called Good Mythical Morning.
Oh, I love those guys.
Great guys, right?
Yeah, and those are another couple guys that, they started off making videos, and now they've got this huge they're on the Tonight Show all the time. It's amazing. It's actually, sometimes I hate using language like this. It's inspiring.
It is inspiring. I completely agree. But it is.
Jealous.
I mean, they've
built.
built.
Jealous, yeah. Definitely a little jealous. These guys do what we do, but every day, and they get paid tons of money for it.
Yeah, we're doing this for free.
And they're like 15 to 20 years younger than us.
I think they're probably better looking than the.
They got it. I don't know.
Faces for radio.
Yeah. Yeah, I cut cable about 5 or 6 years ago, and YouTube is pretty much me and my wife's main form of, other than movies, of kind of viewing entertainment. And there's so many things out there, so many people with these unique channels and these weird. Yeah, you're right. And then you look at their subscribers and you're like, wow, look at that.
Yeah. I think a lot more. They see really how many people have watched the shows. And the amazing thing with all these guys is they have the catalog there. So you can go back and then you have, I think, something like 1,600 episodes of Good Mythical Morning. It's crazy.
Yeah.
1,600?
It's insane.
They do it every day, and they do multiple. Like there's the main show, and then there's like an after show, and Good Mythical Morning in particular is just these two guys, two lifelong friends, and they eat weird foods, and
you don't.
Well, but then they get people
Raisins.
they get people like Jack Black on, and they go on the Tonight Show, and they play a game called, I think it's, what is it, Will It Burrito or Will It Sandwich, where they make different foods to see if it will work in a taco or not.
Okay.
They do all these weird things, but like he said, there's 1,600 episodes. They have millions of viewers, and they started off as two guys making videos.
Well,
yeah.
In the case of that, David, these people that you get involved with you, do you go to them or do they come to you? So the Zappa estate or whatever, or
it's happened in both ways,
okay.
Actually. I gotta say it started to happen more that they're kind of coming to us more recently.
Okay.
But over the first 7 years, it was just me basically trying to see how the hell am I going to get these people to see what we want to do with them, basically. Kind of thing.
Who's the first one?
The first big name that we worked, a band called Mr. Big?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we did all their visuals for the past 2 Japanese tours, because they are huge in Japan.
Yeah.
And they are really huge in Japan. It's not like every other band from the 80s would say, oh, yeah, we're huge in Japan. No, they really are. They fill out the Budokan sold out every time they play.
They're like Cheap Trick.
And exactly. So I basically was doing a little series about a fan who is always chasing his favorite artist, and every time he gets close to them, he dies. So I did I wanted to do an animated short with them, but I wanted to get permission from them to see if it was cool for me to do it. And I reached out to management, and management loved some of the work that we were doing, and he got me a a backstage pass to see them. And I got to meet the guys, and I was over the moon, and they all said, yeah, let's kind of do it. And we did the short, but as I was doing the short, we got the call from them to actually do the visuals for Japan.
Huh.
And yeah, which we got paid and all that kind of stuff, and it was awesome. So that sort of, they were the first, and then after that, what we did is we started publishing Rush related art on our social media every Tuesday. You know, we publish like little illustrations or artwork or jokes or parodies and stuff like that, and we started. Our fan base started to grow, and it occurred to me just to see, well, I mean, if people are enjoying this, let's do a Kickstarter and see if people actually want to buy a book of this crazy stuff. And we did a Kickstarter, and I thought that we were going to get a dime, if much, and we got 11 times what we asked for.
Wow.
It was insane, and we did the book. Everybody was really happy with the book, and that book was unofficial.
Okay.
And but my whole objective was always to work with the band. So now that I had the book, I sent it to the band, obviously with a huge risk that they could say, yeah, this sucks. Don't put any of this stuff out or we'll sue you, kind of thing. But they all loved the book, and it was amazing. I mean, I met with their management in Toronto, and we signed a deal to start doing more books and merch and stuff like that. And wow. Here I am, you know.
Is that the unofficial official book now, or is it now an official?
Yeah, it is official. It is official. The first great thing that happened was actually when the whole story of that is. I got in touch, but things were not moving, and I went to see Eddie Trunk here in. He was doing one of those shows that he does. He talks and stuff, and a friend of mine knows him, and I was like, "Hey, do you think you can connect me to see if I could give him a book and see what he thinks and stuff?" And I got to see Eddie. I actually did wait for a really long time because we messed up the time on how we were going to get together, and I was supposed to be on a list and I wasn't, so I snuck in, which is something I would never in my life do to anything. I know you guys don't know me, but that's probably the only time in my entire life that I ever snuck in. That and probably to see the Doors movie because I was underage. Those two things. But I snuck in, I got together with Eddie, we started talking, we got along really well. He loved the book, that he immediately got in touch with somebody else on management, and 2 weeks later, they ordered the book from us to sell it on their store.
That's awesome.
That's just amazing.
Yeah.
You're really building here. It's like this great one-step process, and it's just a step up.
This is kind of sad though, because like a year from now, when we want to talk to you again, you're going to be big leaguing us.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope I'm still around. I hope I'm still around.
I think you will be. You've got some incredible products. I mean, it's just amazing to see where you're going and what you've got got yourself involved in here. It's just. I'm so glad I reached out to you.
Yeah. I wonder how many people with the coloring books. I wonder how many people like purchased the Zappa coloring book, or did you have a Rush one as well, or there was another coloring book?
Yes, we did a Rush one, and we did a Zappa one, and the Ninja Sex Party one. Those three are the ones that we have so far.
I wonder what the Zappa
the Ninja Sex Party.
I wonder how many people buy those and don't color in them, because it's
like
a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people
just
for
want
collectible.
The art.
Yeah, they just want the art, or they just want to keep them there and nobody touches them. And we did Christmas cards and Hanukkah cards from Rush.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. And a lot of people never sent them. They just got them and they stored them.
Just kept them. Yeah, that's me. That's something I would do.
Yeah,
definitely.
I would do too.
Yeah. You're not getting my Rush Christmas card.
I get that. Yeah. But as soon as I saw the coloring book, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, who would color in this? It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love showing it off, but I also want to stick it in the box somewhere and just keep it for myself.
Oh man, thank you. You know, I mean, this is something that we haven't announced yet, but we will soon with a press release and all of that kind of stuff. We're going to do a charity event with all the coloring books. What we're doing is we're asking celebrities to color a page of the coloring book, and then we're going to auction that to benefit the children in Venezuela for a charity.
Okay.
That's
So-
really cool.
Yeah, we got, I mean, for the Zappa one, we got Joe Travers, the
Okay.
drummer, and the Baldmeister. And we got Mike Keneally to also color one. Ahmet Zappa also is going to do one. Steve Vai is going to color one too.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And we're asking, I mean, we got confirmation from Conan O'Brien's team, and he's going to color one of the Ninja Sex Party pages with his team of writers too. It's pretty cool, man. We're probably going to get Nick Resculinix, one of the producers from Rush, to color one of the Rush ones. It's yeah, I mean, it's I think it's something that's never been done before, you know, and it's a really great cause because Venezuela is where I'm originally from.
Okay.
And it's doing really badly, and there's a lot of kids who actually they're born and there's no milk and they die of malnutrition. So this charity basically just gives formula to those kids to be able to survive.
Do you have a website for the charity that you want to pop off right now?
It's called 8for Life. 8for8.com is the website, and the initiative, because they have a lot of initiatives, but it's called 8for Life.
Okay.
Okay.
And
do me a favor, David. When we get off the air, just make sure that we get a copy of that so we can push that out there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I will.
And if you want to send
sure.
us a couple pages from the coloring book, we'll color some in. I'm not going to guarantee you much reward from that, but my wife might buy them.
All right.
we should make a video of that.
We'll send you a copy of the coloring book.
My wife might buy that, so it's for charity.
No, that's a great charity though. And a great way to raise the money for it.
Yeah.
It's like you said.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like that, so it's a way to really get the word out.
Yeah, everybody gets so excited because nobody really colors, you know. So of those guys, so it's a pretty cool item for collectors and people like that to actually treasure for many years. So yeah, it's something that we hope we could raise some money for those babies and hopefully give them a better life, you know.
Yeah.
All these guys have been very, very nice, and they love the initiative. So it's something that we aspire to do every year, you know. Every year we would do one of these with different people and stuff. And we have other people, but those are the ones that have confirmed so far. So until I have it, I cannot say anything. But we're planning to have other people too. And obviously the guys from Ninja Sex Party, they're gonna color their own and stuff. So
That should be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They'll probably do it on video.
The adult coloring book thing that happened within the last couple of years.
It's something.
It's something else.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that I have any. Like there was one a couple of years ago I saw that was a Marvel one. It was the Age of Ultron from the comics, so it actually had comic pages. And I was like, maybe I'll pick that up and that'll be something fun for me and my wife to do. I opened it up and I went, oh my God. Like the detail on this thing would take so long for me to actually color. Yeah, that I just was like, I don't know if I can handle that. But yeah, what an explosion that was a couple years ago. That suddenly this childhood thing that we all had, coloring books, is now back and people are going crazy with them.
Yeah, but the whole point for you with that, man, is that you spend time forgetting about all whatever is going on around you, and you just relax, because it just helps your mental health, and it helps a lot of things when you color. It's scientifically proven.
I've been hearing that too. Yeah, there have been some.
It just relaxes you, and that's the whole point. If you just. You don't. I mean, nobody's expecting you to finish the page, so you just do whatever you feel like to do. You know.
You guys are really smart too with however you came about the decision to do a coloring book based on Zappa, because he's one of those artists that you think color, you think psychedelia, you think of all that stuff. So
well, and in some of the pages in this particular coloring book, and I can't say for the others, but I did want to ask you this. There were a few images that are very specific to certain songs.
Correct.
Is that in the other two books too? I mean, well, obviously
that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Either songs or, for example, in the Rush one, we pay homage on some of the videos, even some of the ones that are, when you watch them now, are funny, like the Time Stands Still, where
God. That video is bad.
Exactly.
They're floating around, and it's all very...
Oh, I remember that.
And it's just them moving around. And I think in 1986, it was like groundbreaking, but in 2020, it's ridiculous.
And it probably took 26 hours to do.
It probably
2
took
minutes,
forever to produce it, and it was at the height of Geddy Lee with that mullet, when he had that incredible mullet. But man, that video is so bad.
Well, yeah, so of course we had to do a page inspired by that video, you know. So,
that's great.
So yeah, so we and the guys, I mean, they are amazing. I mean, they are so self-deprecating. I mean, they don't take. Some people would think that Rush is this incredibly serious band, and the guys they have such an incredible sense of humor, man. It is such a joy to work with them.
How did you guys come to, well, whether it was your decision or their decision, I'm assuming it probably heavily weighed on them, but so you did the flip book on 2112 and you did the other book on Farewell to Kings. Was that something that you said, I want to do this book, which album do you guys want us to cover? Or I would love to do Farewell to Kings. You know what I mean? How did that come about?
Well, it was me. I proposed the idea. And they liked it. So that's one of my favorite records. We were approaching the 40th anniversary when we started working on it, and it got delayed because it if you guys have a chance to see the book, you'll see how detailed it is and how complex some of the pages are. So we took a year more than what I thought we were going to take. And that's why it came out last year and not the year before.
Speaking of these books, where are you finding the artists? Are they local to you, or are you scouring?
They are. We do things very differently compared to other publishers. Because we are a studio. All the guys work in the studio, so we don't necessarily go out. Obviously, whenever we are not able to cope with the workload with the people that we have, we go outside, but we are 16 people now in the studio. So we work with our guys internally. So that book was done with Itai Manero and Juan Riera and Lindsay Lee, sorry.
It's kind of an old school way of doing it, and yet it's
correct.
It's like a retro modern.
It is a retro modern, and it's incredibly risky. And one of the reasons why I was telling you that it's very hard. And if I don't know what's going to happen in the next few years, is because of that way that we work. Since we started, I was very adamant that we had to find our own style. And if you keep bringing people from the outside all the time, you never forge your own your style.
Yeah.
You know, there's no identity into what we do. And even though when you see the Frank Zappa coloring book, there's many different styles that was done on purpose with all the different artists inside the studio. The Rush one is the same way, and the Ninja Sex Party too. But we have our style and how we do things, you know. And there's an expectation now from people that have bought books from us in the past on what to expect on our books, and that's only when you keep a certain amount of talent constant within the studio. You know, there's an identity into the stuff that we do, and that was very important to me. Otherwise, again, I mean, you become whoever you hire from the street, and that's not necessarily what we want to do.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely is a you can tell that there are different artists that do some of the pages that are
correct,
different, but there's a similarity to a certain aspect.
Yes.
I hate to say
Yes,
that they're
and-
all very similar, but I can see what you're coming up with. You're looking for consistency, which you do
Correct.
have. You do
Yes.
have that. So
We're totally aiming for that. And if you see, we worked really hard on the style of the Rush graphic novel, and for the Ninja Sex Party one that we are doing, that graphic novel is what got the guys in Ninja Sex Party engaged with us. Without working for so many years from us in the same people and develop a workflow on how we do things, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
that's great.
Yeah.
I actually
Thank
like
you.
that. I really do. It's like I said. I mean, retro a little bit, but definitely modern. What'd you do?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I opened the CD thing and now we have a countdown. I don't know. You can still hear us, right, Dave?
Yeah,
No.
Okay.
Hello?
Good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'm good. Yeah.
All right, you're good. All right, well, we are coming to the end of the show. Dave, one more time, please tell everybody out there where they can find all the awesome stuff that you guys work on over there.
Well, we are at Fantunes on Instagram, at Fantunes on Twitter. All of our books are on fantunes.shop. And you can find them also on Barnes & Noble and Amazon and all the great bookstores out there, the comic book shops as well, because we get distribution from Diamond. So, I hope people can pick up some of our books, so Where's Lemmy, Motorhead, and all of our coloring books.
Oh, David, this has been
An informative hour.
very informative and very cool. I mean, I love discovering people like yourself and not having known all that much before. This has been one hell of an hour.
Kind of the reason we're here.
Oh, thank you, guys. That means a lot. I had a blast too, and I really thank you for the opportunity to be in your show.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem.
Yeah,
at all.
we'll
Thank
send you the link once the show ends up. We always put these out on YouTube, and we have the archives for a couple weeks too. So we'll send you the links once it's out. But
Absolutely.
we're gonna get the word out there for Fantunes.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
guys.
Dave.
I'll be talking to you, Dave.
It was a blast. All right.
All right.
Take
Thank you.
care, guys.
You too.
Bye.
All right. Uncle John is in the other room. He's not sporting any Patriots gear tonight. I think he's still a little salty about that, but that's okay. Dead Air is coming up. It's easily episode 1,244,000. He just gave me the finger, so he still is a little salty about that, but that's okay. This has been Pint of Comics. Sir John and me, John.
Hey, next week,
Who do we got next week? Next week is
June Brigman,
June Brigman, right. Right. Power Pack, Captain Ginger,
Captain Ginger,
Artist Supreme,
Mary Worth.
Mary Worth, that's
Yeah,
right.
Mary Worth.
All right. See ya.
See ya.